Howdy gamers, how's it going? I wanted to make a video today talking about my least favorite thing I see in small creators on YouTube. And what that is people whoring themselves out. And I've talked about this a bit before, but I kind of want to go more in depth about it and talk about why I hate it so much. So a really big reason on why this annoys me so fucking bad is I feel like it almost entirely discredits anything you do. This is the biggest reason why I think if you're making videos, and I feel like there may be a lot of people that watch this that have tried, and I know for sure I've talked to people, is that if you make videos and you're making something that's good and high quality and you're not succeeding, it's almost always because you're wrong. You're not wrong. You're wrong in either two ways. Number one, you just haven't been doing it long enough. It takes time, and sometimes it can take a long time. And second off is that you actually aren't making good content. And that's a very weird thing to come to terms with, is that what you're making is bad. I can kind of look at a lot of the stuff I did in the past, which is now deleted, but I can realize with a lot of that stuff, like, oh, at the time, even though I had these dreams in my head of how I wanted to go so successfully, I can understand why they didn't. But regardless, that's still the right direction. That's still what you want to do. You want to focus on knowing what you want to make and how to do that better. And once you really figure that out, I feel like naturally things will happen. Even though all the algorithm talk happens on YouTube, I feel like there are certain inevitabilities. I think it's impossible to make good content and not eventually be found out. It can happen sooner or later depending on luck, but regardless, it's inevitable. And also something that I think is incredibly important to mention is that let's say you do whore yourself out. Let's say you go in every comment section, you go to every creator, you do the follow for follow shit essentially, where you sub for sub, and you do shoutouts for shoutouts, and you do this constant thing to whore yourself around. It's like, number one, who are you getting to watch? And what if you actually succeed? That what if you actually succeed thing I don't think people consider enough. Because it's like, who do you want to be? If you do well, do you want to have done well simply for the sake of doing well? Do you not actually want to be proud of what you did or how hard you worked to get there? Because that hard work you put into wanting your things can do well can simply be put into actually making something better. And that's something that's hard to realize is because it's very soul defeating. A lot of times it's hard to blame yourself and you want to blame the world around you. If you spend like 30 or 40 hours on this awesome video and then you see it get 15 views, it fucking sucks really bad. Or I've been in situations where, and I will defend this video till I die, as best of very cool guy. I made that video, and I think I spent something like 100 or 200 hours. I spent a ridiculous amount of time on that video. Now, it may be hard to tell, but the amount of love I put into that video was insane. And I spent so much time working on it, and then I made it, and then I tried to publish it. I got permission from the guy it was for, and then I made it. And it got, I think, about 100 views, which is almost nothing from how much I promoted it. But the thing that hurt most was all the negativity. Because you spend 200, 300 hours, and then everyone hates it, is almost a different beast than no attention at all. No, I'm sorry, it isn't even a different beast. It's almost actually the same thing of it getting no views at all. Because you think of the people that you got to watch weren't even properly brought in because it's something they would enjoy. And then it also was like, oh, like the guy I made it for didn't even like that much. Like he didn't hate it, but he wasn't really that fond of it. And that too also kind of really sucked. But it's gonna suck. And like I said, I made hundreds of videos that kind of got that whole like 15 to 100 views, which is almost non-existent. That means you pretty much got zero. A lot of times there will be certain ways that you can get 100 views, but 0 comments, but whatever. And so you'll go through these times where it's really, really difficult. And if you guys are ever out there, then I can't stress enough to please don't stop. Because I really think doing well is an inevitable thing that can happen. And this is true for a lot of things in life. In fact, this is maybe true for anything in life. If you really dedicate yourself to it and you put a lot of time and passion into it, and your heart's in the right place, then it will eventually go well. But I just kind of wanted to stress too about that heart in the right place thing, because I don't think people kind of realize how important that is. The ends justify the means is not the case in YouTube. In fact, very seldom do the ends justify the means. Because let's say you do have videos that start doing well and you are whoring out, then what does that success mean? Does that mean something more? In my opinion, no, it doesn't. It really doesn't. It feels worse. You feel like you manipulated the system and you constantly hoard yourself out to get attention instead of actually doing the most important thing, which is making something good. I really wanted to talk about this, and I don't have that much time today, so I wanted to make a video that wouldn't take that much time. But I also want to mention, too, that my Discord DMs are open. And I don't mean to pretend like I'm an authority on YouTube or anything, but I feel like I'm an alright critic. If you send me your videos, I'll mostly be very, very optimistic about it. But I've literally not had this happen yet, so this is why I'm mentioning it. I don't think a lot of people would expect me, but I will genuinely spend a lot of my time criticizing your video. If you send it to my Discord DMs, send me your video or send me your channel, and then say, hey, please, can you tell me how I can do better? And I will do my best. Once again, I'm not an authority on this, but I almost feel like it's something I could do because I don't really like the whole shouting people out for what they do, even if they help me out. If you help me out and I talk to you, I will just talk about you naturally, but I don't like the forced nature of giving people attention, and that's not really how I want to support smaller creators. I'd much rather talk to you personally and tell you how what you can do would actually be better. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope you have a wonderful day or night.